Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, and you're here with another country from geography. Now, we're on with Guinea Bissau. Guinea Bissau, I think so. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, have no clue. Once again, no clue about you guys. So yeah, I can't really say much before this video because I really don't know. But anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe, guys. Please and thank you. It helped me out a lot. And we're just going to jump right into it, guys. Let's jump right into it. Put our thinking caps on, or our learning caps. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, let's do it, guys. 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Just be honest, you really don't know anything about this place, do you? That's okay. I'm here to pretend like I do for you.
Thanks, buddy.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbie. Alright, last episode you saw the bigger, Frenchier twin Guinea. Now we meet the feisty, passionate, Portuguese-influenced sister Guinea-Bissau. So much to cover. Let's go.
Go.
Alright, get ready because this is how you find Bissau. Man, I miss doing that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
First of all, the country is located in West Africa off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, bordered by Senegal to the north and Guinea to the east and south. The country is divided into 8 regions, with the capital Bissau being classified as an autonomous sector. The country is about the size of Switzerland and is kind of shaped like 2 fingers sprinkling salt. Guinea-Bissau is one of the only few countries that doesn't have a northernmost point, as part of the northern border with Senegal just is a flat line that technically is the northernmost border. Also, the southernmost tip of the Tombali region splits a peninsula with Guinea. There are only 6 main airports with the occasional airstrip inland, the largest ones being Bissau's Osvaldo Villarejo International and Boubaké Airport located on Boubaké Island. Now, when you look at the country, the most notable region would have to be off the coast. These little beauties, the remote islands known as the Bijagos, an archipelago of 88 islands and islets. This is the sprinkled salt part of Guinea-Bissau. No, I'm not going to do a Salt Bay reference. We don't cave into cultural relevancy too much on this channel unless we absolutely have to.
But what about Bob's sex?
Shh! He was never ever relevant. These islands are the crown jewel of Guinea-Bissau. Only about 20 of the islands are inhabited year-round, the most populated one being Boubaké, which holds the administrative capital. Otherwise, islands like Bolama, Karache, Formosa, Roja, Una, Caravella, and Durango, where they used to bury all their kings and queens, all have their own small towns and charm that draw in tourists. And by tourists, I mean like 3 Portuguese people on a layover to the Marieiras. Otherwise, some notable spots of interest might include places like Old Town Bissau Velho, the old capital Bolama Polon de Bra, the statue of Amilcar Cabral, Porto Pijuiti, the old presidential palace with a bombed-out roof. People can visit but are advised not to go in because there's like a lot of bats there. The National Ethnographic Museum, and Fortaleza de Moura, which holds Mediterranean-style buildings.
Not authorized to go in. Does that mean like you can go in? It's just that people don't want you to go in, but it's not against the law, right? And I just want to say that as soon as I seen like the picture of the country, the geography, I'm like, man, you got all these islands out there. This country's gonna be pretty cool, man. So far, all the architecture, man, very old stuff, very cool.
That's there. The National Ethnographic Museum, and Fortaleza de Moura, which holds Mediterranean-style buildings but is unfortunately on military ground and therefore off limits. But if you make friends with the guards, you can kind of sneak in. Now, the country is fascinating, but the problem is car travel. Because the country is made up of one giant river estuary, driving will always take you inland to get anywhere. This also makes things interesting when it comes to economics, such we will discuss in.
Okay.
Now, in the latest episode, we mentioned how every country in West Africa has like a coast nickname. Ghana was the Gold Coast, you have the Ivory Coast, Guinea was unofficially the Aluminum Coast. Well, if Guinea-Bissau had one, it would probably be the Cashew Coast. First of all, the whole coast is serrated with tributaries and river estuaries that dump into the Atlantic, mostly from the longest river, the Geba, that flows more than 340 miles inland, creating a complex, notched, disconnected coastline made up of mangroves and swamps with a few beaches. This means that although shipping ports and docks are available, inter-regional land transportation has always been slightly hindered. The whole country is generally flat. The highest point doesn't even have a name. It's just a hill 300 meters high along the...
Yeah, I can see like why I guess cars wouldn't be a big thing because like unless you have a whole bunch of bridges going through here, I mean, it would kind of be a pain in the butt to have to drive all the way back here, to the east and all the way back. You guys must be like a lot of boats. Like everyone must own a boat around there, or like some kind of taxis. You just pay for like a ferry, or basically boats are like the taxis. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. But yeah, I mean, if all these rivers, man, just park next to, if you have like a boathouse, if you live near or on the river, just take your boat and kind of go wherever you want along the coast, right? Like for half the country anyway, the inner part, because then you probably need, I'm sure those trucks or something might, for, I don't know. He might tell me here in a second. I'm sorry, I'm just blabbering.
East border with Guinea's highlands. Go inland and you reach the forest and savannas. About 71% of the entire country is covered in forests, making it the third most forested country in Africa after Seychelles and Gabon. This is also where you can find typical West African wildlife like aardvarks, pikas, monkeys, giraffe, and the disputed national animal, the West African elephant. This area also harbors the core of the agricultural sector that employs over 80% of the entire population. The most
I was gonna say, like, Africa's got the cool when it comes to like animals and stuff like that. You guys are the coolest. You guys have like the best animals, man. You got, like the tigers, lions, cheetahs, elephants, man, rhinos, crocodiles. Like you have it when it comes to nature and animals. You guys kick butt for sure. Definitely the best, like continent when it comes to like animals and stuff like that. It's awesome. What's that?
area also harbors the core of the agricultural sector that employs over 80% of the entire population. The most heavily produced crop? Cashews! No, like seriously, over
I don't know what this beeping is on my computer. I'm sorry, guys. Bam, I'm unplugging my speakers. I don't know what that noise is. I'm sorry for the interruption. We're going to back up here.
80% of the entire population. The most heavily produced crop? Cashews! No, like seriously, over 90% of all their exports are made up of nut products, and cashews being the largest supplier. Now, economically speaking, 2/3 of people live in poverty. This is partially because after Suriname, it takes longer to register a new business here than anywhere else in the world, averaging out at 33 weeks.
Wow.
Grammarly does more than catch errors.
So, hold on,
with Grammarly, you can find really good. No.
Oh man!
So it's like you're gonna create your own business. You usually wait like over a year before you can really, get your business going. I mean, that would suck. I guess that would deter a lot of people from actually doing that because the wait time, man. Dang.
Anywhere else in the world, averaging out at 33 weeks.
Oh man, carrot cake cream pies are totally blowing up on Instagram right now. Excuse me, sir. I'd like to register to open up a carrot cake cream pie bakery.
Okay.
Finally, I opened up my carrot cake cream pie bakery. Excuse me, miss. Would you like to buy a carrot cake cream pie?
That is so 8 months ago. Grapefruits are in now.
No.
They got married! Speaking of food, the national dish would probably be caldo stews, famous ones being caldo branco, caldo mancara, and caldo cheben. Top dishes include things like avocados with tuna, yassa chicken, egusi soup, and fried cassava. The Bijagos Islands, though, probably have the largest ecodiversity in the country, classified as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. You can even find the famous saltwater hippos in Orango Island. Otherwise, cool natural places include Hereberem and the sacred forests of the south, where you can see chimpanzees, the waterfalls and crocodiles of Bambadinka, and of course the Bijago beaches with the giant sea turtles that come to lay their eggs. So that settles the land. Now let's see who has settled the land. Oh, that was such a good transition. I should have saved it for like a bigger episode like India or something. Oh well. Okay, so just to clarify, people here are not called Guinea-Bissawians or Bissauans. They're just called Guineans or Bissau Guineans to distinguish themselves apart from Guinea. Otherwise, they usually refer to regular Guinea as Guinea-Conakry or just Conakry. It's kind of like, only one can have the title of the true Guinea, but usually Guinea wins. First of all, the country has about 1.8 million people and over 60% of the population is under 25. The largest ethnic groups are the Fulani at about 28%, the Balanta at 23%, the Mandinka at 15%, and the Papel at around 10%. The rest are made up of numerous other tribes and groups with a small 2-ish% of non-Africans, including Europeans, and even a few Chinese that were mostly brought over from Macau. Yeah, Portuguese-speaking Chinese immigrants from Southeast Asia in Africa. What world we live in. They also use the African CFA franc, they use the type C outlet, and they drive on the right side of the road. Before colonization, major parts of Guinea-Bissau were under various African kingdoms like the Gabu and the Mali Empire. Long story short, in 1450 the Portuguese came in and then, well, they kind of started the whole Atlantic slave trade. Fast forward to the mid-50s and they were fed up with the Portuguese, joined up with Cape Verde and started a rebellion, which is how Russia and China and Cuba got involved and tried really hard to push communism on them. It was like,
okay, here are some weapons. We totally got your back, Guinea-Bissau. And if you have time, here is ideology manuscript.
Oh, that is okay. I am happy with just the weapons.
Oh, who else can I find to influence around here?
Ooh, are those guns?
Finally, in the 70s, they gained independence, but instability has always been an issue. So far, no president has ever served a full 5-year term. Then there was a civil war in 1998 and 1999. Yada, yada, yada. It ended. Like many other African countries, Guinea-Bissau is made up of tribal and ethnic regions. The Fulbe, or Fulani, inhabit most of the center and east areas, with the Mandinka sprinkled in pockets amongst them. The Papel and Balanta are mostly coastal folk, along with the Felupe Jola. The Nalu people are in the south. And finally, the Bijagos people found on the islands. Oh, and by the way, the Bijagos is known for being home to an interesting matriarchal society in which women dominate the household and choose their husbands. Speaking of which, we've talked about the Mandinkas a few times before, but never really talked about the Fula or Fulani people. Basically, the Fulani are a major African ethnic group of about 25 million strong, covering parts of West Africa, mostly in the Sahel regions. The Fula are known for being the world's largest nomadic pastoral people group, famous for their bodado hats, braided and embellished hair, and interesting customs in which men put on face paint and sort of put on a beauty pageant off to impress female judges. Now, Guinea-Bissau is a Lusophone country, or Portuguese speaking. However, only about a fifth of the population actually speaks proper Portuguese.
So basically, the women have the power in the country, right? They get to choose a husband, and the guys are the one that seem to be, dressing up with like, the paint or makeup or whatever, whatnot, to kind of attract, the woman as a suitor. So interesting. Like, is that really kind of really how it is? Like, the women kind of have the power in the country. I mean, kind of interesting to know from someone who's going to visit there or lives there. That's interesting. We definitely haven't seen that yet, though. Going through all these countries, that's definitely new. I haven't seen anything like that. I don't think so.
Country, or Portuguese speaking. However, only about a fifth of the population actually speaks proper Portuguese. The majority of the people in the country speak, in addition to their own native tongue, a form of Guinean Portuguese Creole. For example, in Portuguese, you might say muito limpo, but in Guinea Creole, you might say limpo pus. Isso é muito quinte becomes isso e quinti wit. Then they just have a bunch of African-derived words that have no derivative at all, like bagana, jungo, or singa-singa. Faith-wise, about 45% of the country is Muslim, about 30% follow indigenous beliefs like animism, and about 20% are Christians, with the remaining 5% being other or unaffiliated. Now, jumping on the controversy wagon, yes, Guinea-Bissau has some problems. For one, development is slow, and typically doctors, nurses, and teachers go on strike. This in return affects the health and education system. Guinea-Bissau is also kind of like the gateway for South American cocaine to enter into Europe. Airport officials sometimes turn a blind eye and are easily bribed. Many times, drug traffickers hide out their stashes on the Bijagos Islands. Everybody knows about it. Interpol has been on your case for decades. Otherwise, some of the most famous Bissau Guineans might include people like Almincar Cabral, the national hero from the War of Independence, João Nino Vieira, José Carlos Schwartz, Manecas Costa, Talata Mbalo, Flora Gomez, Eneda Marta, and numerous football players like Patrice Evra, Bafetimbi Gomis, Bruno Martins Indi, and Eddie Gomez. Keep in mind, a lot of these players are very lightly connected to Guinea-Bissau and have either hardly ever or never even visited the country in the past few decades, but their countrymen still take honor and pride in them regardless. Speaking of people living abroad,
on My Heritage, you can build your family tree and make amazing discoveries about your family history really easily.
Let's continue.
Let me show you how. First,
Guinea-Bissau is interesting because they're kind of like a Lusophone country that dislikes engaging with Portugal the most, even though they begrudgingly still do. Many Bissau Guineans still immigrate to Portugal, and even though things got crazy during independence, they are still economically dependent on them. China kind of pulls off the whole relationship thing that they do with pretty much all the other African countries. Hey, I'll build you a stadium and parliamentary building if you just pay back with exclusive rights to your resources, like fishing and lumber. When it comes to their best friends, though, Guinea-Bissau is part of the ECOWAS, or Economic Community of West African States. They're also part of the Lusophone nations as well. So all their Portuguese-speaking neighbors kind of get along with them pretty close. However, of this whole group, they would probably say Cape Verde is their best friend. Cape Verde was even at one point unified with Guinea-Bissau during the fight against the Portuguese. They share so much in common, they love visiting each other, and the two have been a happily married couple for decades. In conclusion, Guinea-Bissau is like Africa's small, relentless, developing, Portuguese-speaking, custom-maintaining cashew republic with some cool islands. Just toss your plans for opening up a bakery here. Stay tuned, Guyana is coming up next.
That's unfortunate, man, because I don't like seeing countries, kind of like held back like that, and it's like infrastructure is lacking behind, and obviously, someone to come in and make a business, they'd probably choose a different place, different country to start a business because they wouldn't want to wait that long, and you know, a lot of people are living in poverty, and that is very unfortunate. You know, we kind of, of course, you know, like a lot of the drug trade goes through there. You know, so a lot of that is just stopping, you know, maybe from having some tourism because you guys got a lot of cool islands and rivers, man. It'd be cool to get a bunch of, you know, get a few hotels and everything put out there, but I guess with, I guess just it's just not meant to be over there, man. Hopefully, over time, you know, they get someone to go there and fix it up. What they said that, you know, presidents don't last like the full 5 years or something like that. So you kind of get you got cool to get like a cool leader in there to kind of like, you know, spruce it up and get things going. So, but anyways, guys, please hit that like and subscribe on this video, please and thank you. And we will continue our journey through every country in the world through geography now. And yeah, peace. Catch you guys in future videos.